widespread uptake and rapid integration of technologies designed to enhance capacity and productivity by restoring or extending human physical, intellectual, and social capabilities, characterize contemporary society. In this context, digital well-being has emerged as a novel concept that captures the delicate balance between the benefits and drawbacks people experience in an increasingly digital world. We posit that the digital transformation of society and the new modes of being it enables requires a more thorough investigation of how our conceptual understanding of well-being has been altered by emerging technologies. Furthermore, current literature on digital well-being reveals highly fragmented knowledge among social scientists, philosophers, and system developers, leading to disjointed discussions. We argue that establishing a common understanding will support the development of better systems. In particular, well-being seeks to establish a creative synergy between post-humanist thinking as the philosophical stance for defining well-being and requirements engineering as a practical approach for incorporating well-being into the development of digital systems in the spirit of a contemporary practical philosophy for a digitalist society. The research has been approved by the Ethics and Deontology Committee of the University of the Aegean.
Μιλάμε για το ευζήν. Το θέμα μας είναι η λεγόμενη ευζοία. Αλλά για ποιο ευζήν μιλάμε τελικά? Εδώ θα μας βοηθάει πάρα πολύ η αναδύφιση στις αρχαίες πηγές που μας μιλάνε ακριβώς για το ευζήν, το εσωτερικό. Δηλαδή για την εσωτερική ισορροπία. Και όχι για τη λεγόμενη ευδαιμονία και όχι για το εξωτερικό υλικό ευζήν. Πώς μπορούμε λοιπόν αυτή την έννοια να τη μεταφέρουμε στο σήμερα και μάλιστα στο ψηφιακό ευζήν? Αυτό είναι και το θέμα του προγράμματος που τρέχει, του θέματος της έρευνας.
Our research team has conducted qualitative research through focus group interviews. A focus group consists of a small number of individuals, typically between 6 and 9, who share certain characteristics and are gathered by the researchers to explore their attitudes, perceptions, feelings, ideas, and views about a specific topic. We anticipated that group interactions would stimulate richer responses and generate new, valuable insights. As part of the first phase of the research, a group of students from the Department of Cultural Technology and Communication gathered at the Future Lab of the student dormitories. They were encouraged with open-ended questions to engage in dialogue among themselves, discussing their daily interaction with technology and how it shapes their quality of life. The second focus group was held as part of the research project Digital Well-Being in the Post-Human Era, a Critical Approach. The participants, aged 35 to 60, met online with Professor Kavakli from the Department of Cultural Technology and Communication. The discussion was of great interest, as these individuals lived during a time when mobile phones, social networks, and modern technological advancements were still science fiction. On July 23rd, 2024, in the context of the research project, a qualitative study was conducted with a focus group of individuals over the age of 65, involving members of the Senior Citizens Center of Natilini. The participants enthusiastically expressed their views, concerns, and reflections, as well as their needs for digital education and literacy. On Thursday, December 5th, 2024, a qualitative focus group study was conducted with the participation of 9 adolescent students from the General Upper Secondary School of Koloni, Lesvos, Ignatios, Agalianos. The meeting took place in a school classroom, and the highly engaging 2-hour discussion was focused on the relationship between teenagers and digital technology, exploring their experiences, challenges, concerns, as well as their desires and suggestions for a better future.
What is digital well-being for you?
It is when I can communicate well with digital media. I can have friendship, I have possibility to express myself, to publish things and so on and that happens quite often in my life.
As long as I've got fast and robust Wi-Fi and a good laptop, I'm happy.
Τι εννοούμε όμως όταν λέμε σήμερα ευζήν? Άραγε εννοούμε κάτι εξωτερικό, υλικό, ακόμα και θεωρητικό, ή εννοούμε έναν τρόπο ζωής, κάτι που αγκαλιάζει με άλλα λόγια όλη μας την ύπαρξη?
Well-being means trying to lead a life, which I actually try to do practically myself, which can help overcoming this age of radical disruption of planetary well-being towards what some call planetary health, although this concept as it is normally used is still quite anthropocentric, because normally planetary health means the health of humanity, and I think it should mean the health of all life forms.
On the individual level, like most of the people, what makes me happy is to have proper food, proper shelter, not luxurious, but what is needed, and proper means to have the dealings with daily life, health, etc., and the same for all the members of my family.
The workshop was a 3-day event featuring keynote speeches, paper presentations, and an expert panel discussion. Participants were integral in presenting their vision and perspectives on digital well-being.
υπερφορτωμένα, αλλά εγκαθίστανται στο αυτί έτσι ώστε να παραμένουν ακόμα και μετά την τελευταία νότα. Η μουσική του, λοιπόν, έρχεται σε αντίθεση με μια κοινωνική τάση του σήμερα, στην οποία όλο και περισσότερες πληροφορίες στιβάζονται σε όλο και πιο συμπυκνωμένη μορφή. Και το γεγονός ότι σήμερα είναι εδώ και μας παρουσιάζει ένα μέρος αυτής της εξέλιξης της δουλειάς του και ένα μέρος της εξέλιξης του έργου του, νομίζω ότι πρέπει να μας χαροποιεί ιδιαίτερα. Χθες που μίλησε στο συνέδριο, πραγματικά μας μάγεψε, στην ημερίδα, συγγνώμη, και ευτυχώς είναι καταγεγραμμένο όλο αυτό το πάθος με το οποίο μίλησε για τη μουσική και για τη δουλειά του.
For me, the art and why I combine so many art forms is a key element of communication. We have to exchange information with the main goal to find a way out, take the technology in, find new technological ways and educational ways to survive and to solve this, what is a major problem at the moment.
Digital material has a tendency to disembody ourselves. I use it, as I said, and I repeat it here. I use that same dangerous technology to attempt the re-embodiment of a disembodied body.
So I don't normally structure my life in that sense, but as a performance artist, what's important for me is not simply to have ideas, to speculate or to academically write about ideas, but rather to actualize these ideas, to personally experience in a performance, and hopefully I can meaningfully articulate something afterwards.
Πώς μπορεί λοιπόν στην ψηφιακή εποχή μας να επιτύχουμε αυτή την ψηφιακή ευζοία? Μπορεί άραγε η τεχνολογία να αξιοποιηθεί έτσι ώστε να έχουμε μία καθημερινότητα ισορροπημένη?
Anything that is digital with all the awareness and criticism on the political level on the ethical level, on the philosophical level, I consider it as a partner.
I think that a very important thing is that we keep a kind of digital hygiene, that we know and we are trained how to use well technologies, not just to be with them all the time, because it is not the point. Just being on internet, we don't get much information. We need to know in which places to search for valuable information, where are the archives, where we might find keys, and so forth. On the surface, there is just rubbish.
Η τεχνολογία δεν μπορεί να βοηθήσει, θα λέγαμε, δεν συνάδει με την ευζοία, είναι απλούστατα, γιατί σήμερα, όπως ξέρουμε, η τεχνολογία σε μεγάλο βαθμό είναι εμπορευματικοποιημένη. Είναι δηλαδή, εξυπηρετεί, όπως ξέρουμε πάρα πολύ καλά, σκοπούς καταναλωτικούς.
In this digitalized world of ours, and at the same time being extremely conscious of the toxicity of some of these technologies, we know that, and the way they are ubiquitous and intrusive. But once you develop, and you help developing that awareness, I integrate them perfectly well.
Technology is neither good or bad. It depends how we use it, although the more possibilities, the more threats we always have.
I think this is, if a disruptive technology might be something to hope for, but otherwise, they already have Palantir and China and so on. They already have collected so much data. The question, can we ever keep up with that? We're so far behind, but giving up doesn't seem to be an option either. But it's difficult. It's even. Maybe a new technology can help, a disruptive technology, in order to keep up with the advantages they already have. But it's going to be challenging.
The Open Week took place at the University of the Aegean on University Hill in Mytilene. The workshops were held in the new building of the School of Social Sciences.
So between the two of you, you can discover a strategy of making the other appear or disappear, depending on how forward you are, or try to catch up with each other.
So this is a good position to see it all, because you get a sense of, from the triangular point of view, what they do versus what happens on the screen.
And you can also play very fast, but it will not be the same results. Another interesting aspect, you see, his left arm is going in front of the chest, so it creates a negative space inside of the body because the camera is hesitating. It's contrasting. The camera or the computer is asking itself, shall I look at the hand or shall I look at the head or the rest of the body?
And if it's detecting dead inside the image by itself and the body, then that means to see the dead you have to have the contrast.
Yes.
It's the thing with art that to see the light, you don't necessarily need to have black light to outline it.
Yes.
So on many different levels, it is a partner, whether it's a smartphone, as smart as it can be, a piece of interactive technology, a software based on artificial intelligence. They are partners of our life. So I want a dialogue and imagine potential futures, not dystopian, not utopian either, but utopian, meaning the possibility of a place of good.
There appeared the idea of so-called digital altruism. That is sounds nice, but can be also a bit problematic because it tends to be sometimes substitute of the real positive physical action of care of the other, clicking for support sharing some money online, can give us certain rewarding that we are doing good, that we are choosing well. However, it can be a substitute of the regular, more focused kind of action, although this is also becoming a part of our choices, and it is not to be discarded completely.
Ο άνθρωπος υπήρξε με τα εργαλεία, όπως μας έχουν πει σπουδαίοι αρχαιολόγοι, όπως ο Λερό Αγκουράν, παραδείγματος χάρη, ο οποίος μας μιλάει ακριβώς για το ότι το εργαλείο υπήρξε απαραίτητη προϋπόθεση της επιβίωσης του ανθρώπου και ότι ο άνθρωπος είναι εργαλείο. Αν το δούμε λοιπόν υπό αυτό το πρίσμα, νομίζω ότι μπορούμε πάρα πολύ καλά να αξιοποιήσουμε αυτήν την τεχνολογία προς την βελτίωση του ανθρώπινου όντως, εφόσον ο άνθρωπος, όπως είπα και προηγουμένως, δεν είναι τίποτα άλλο παρά ένα συνεχές γίγνεσθε.
So with our current sensor systems, computational systems, our machines, our satellites, we can now navigate from deep time, deep cosmological time and space, to virtual non-places, from the nanoscale to megascales. So our human operation is extended to the point where conceptually and physiologically we can perform in much wider parameters.
Σήμερα όλοι ξέρουμε ότι ζούμε στην ψηφιακή εποχή. Πώς μπορούμε λοιπόν να ζήσουμε καλά σε αυτή την ψηφιακή εποχή? Πώς θα μπορούσαμε να ζήσουμε, να χρησιμοποιήσουμε, μάλλον να αξιοποιήσουμε καλύτερα τη σύγχρονη τεχνολογία για να μπορούμε να έχουμε αυτό το ζητούμενο που είναι το ευζήν. Μέτρον άριστον, με μία μετρημένη χρήση της τεχνολογίας, πάντοτε στραμμένη στη βελτίωση του ανθρώπου, εφόσον αντιληφθούμε τον άνθρωπο σε ένα όν που είναι υποσυνεχή βελτίωση, δεν είναι στατικό, τότε νομίζω ότι μπορούμε να μιλήσουμε για ψηφιακό ευζήν.
How can philosophy define your relation to digital well-being?
Philosophy helps me to reflect and understand on communication, and the basic communication is through the body, through the voice and through expression in face and so on. And then digital media is an extension of that. And just to investigate this extension and understand it, philosophers help me. So I think philosophy is very useful to in a way get into an understanding what's really happening. There's a strange digital world which really